morning, sir, and good morning, classmates. So, my report is about interactionist theory, and the objectives of this study are review two major families of theory, understand interactionist theory, assumptions, key questions, weaknesses, then review five sociological theories. So, what is interactionist theory? Interactionist theory is based on the idea that human beings, as they interact with one another and give meaning to themselves and the world around them, and use those meanings as a basis for making decisions and taking action in their everyday lives. So, interactionist theory is a process of face-to-face that consists actions, reactions, and mutual understanding between two or more individuals. So it talks about communication. This theoretical perspective emphasizes the importance of control in social interactions. Identity, a sense of who we are and how we are connected to the social world. Identity encompasses the memories, experience, relationships, and values that creates one sense of self. This amalgamation creates a steady sense of who one is over time, even as a new facets are developed and incorporated into one's identity. So identity, this is the symbolic of interactionism. It represents interactionist theory as a symbol to help us understand multiple relationships, help to create meaning for individuals and larger community. If you see the image of the slide, it is connected to a number of things that including our practice and habits. They represent points of interactions with the social world. The key questions. How does social interactions affect society? Social structures and cultures are founded upon social interactions. By interacting with one another, people design rules, institutions, and systems within which they seek to align. Symbols are used to communicate the expectations of a given society to those new to it. Why does interaction important in a society? Interaction is important in our society because we are able to learn what our limitations and the fact and what is the facts and truth about our society. What are the types of social relationships? The types of social relationships is conflict, accommodations, exchange, and etc. Why are social relationships important? It is important because we learn to know our limitations and we are able to understand each other through communications and interactions. Process of interactionism. First, being ignored. Sometimes it feels like you are lonely and being insulted because the ignorance of society. Society will always put an individuals down, and it's quite natural. Sometimes even our family members do that. Hence, we should take those cons and come forward to solve our own problems. It's only the basic experience which life teaches you to be successful. Second, larger social structures. The functionalist perspective attempts to explain social institutions as collective means to meet individual and social needs, sometimes called structural functionalism, because often focuses on the way social structures Next, power dynamics. Power is a person's ability to exert influence and control. Power dynamics describes how powers affect relationship between two or more people. For example, the ability of a parent to influence their toddler's actions can help keep them out of harm's way. Then, inequalities. Inequalities. The basic examples of inequalities is being discriminated. Then last, no critical vision for organization structure. In this case, interactionist theory has two such weaknesses. Because interactionist theory tends to be so focused on the individual, it misses out on larger structural questions, on power dynamics and social inequalities. For this reason, many interactionist theorists also use critical theories as a means to examine these larger infrastructural questions. Second, interactionist theory tends to seek change in the form of participation, but it lacks a larger vision for an organizational structure that could lead to positive participation and identity information. Again, interactionists look to critical theory. Let's take a look at this magazine advertisement from each of sociological perspective. Functionalist. Social order is based on consensus and shared values. Sports preserve the status. Question: how can female athletes teach people about important social norms? The advert illustrates that women can be great athletes and still maintain their femininity. They do not disrupt the status. Conflict. Social order is based on economic interests. Profit motives distort sport. How are female athletes used by the economic power structure? This advert illustrates female athletes, like all athletes, are alienated from their labor and used by the economically powerful, in this case, Glamour magazine, to make a profit and distract the masses from socio-economic. Interactionist assumption. Social order is created by people as they interact with each other. How do these women become defined as athletes? This advert illustrates that in modern American society, women can be trend setting athletes so long as their primary affiliations and interactions happen in their role as ordinary feminine women. Interactionism can serve as a theoretical perspective for conceptually clear and soundly implemented multiple method research that will expand the understanding of human health behavior. Interactionist theory is very important to our society. It helps us to communicate and understand each other. So I hope you learn from my report, and thank you for listening. God bless and keep safe.